It was supposed to be a normal school trip. A small group of students from Bright Future Secondary School were selected to go on an educational tour. We were told it would be fun. We were told it would be safe. Our parents signed the permission slips. We packed our bags with excitement. We boarded a white bus at 6:45 a.m. and waved goodbye to our parents, who had no idea it was the last time they would see most of us. My name is Jason, and I was 17 when it happened. There were 14 of us on the bus, boys and girls, all in our school uniforms. Our teacher, Mr. Dominic, sat in front, smiling and making jokes. We thought he was the safest adult in the world. We trusted him, but we were wrong. About 3 hours into the journey, the bus made a turn off the main road. At first, we thought it was just a shortcut, but the road kept getting narrower, dustier, and surrounded by thick trees. We asked Mr. Dominic where we were going, but he just smiled and said, "We're almost there." Almost where? Suddenly, the bus stopped. We were in the middle of nowhere. Then we saw them. 5 men with guns, faces covered. They dragged Mr. Dominic out of the bus and hugged him like they knew him well. That's when it hit us. It was a setup. Mr. Dominic wasn't just our teacher. He was one of them. We screamed. We begged. But it was too late. The men forced us out of the bus and tied our hands. One of the girls, Ada, tried to run. They shot her leg without even blinking. She cried so hard, but no one helped her. Mr. Dominic just stood there and watched. They pushed us into the back of a different truck and covered us with sacks. We drove for hours. We ended up in a small camp deep in the forest. The place smelled like blood and smoke. There were cages, chains, dirty floors, and other people, girls, women, even little boys. All of them looked tired, thin, and afraid. That was the day we disappeared. Every day was a nightmare. They gave us little food, sometimes just dry gary and dirty water. They beat the boys for sport. The girls were treated worse. They picked the prettiest ones and took them away. Some never came back. I'll never forget the sound of Tina's crying. She was my classmate, strong, kind, and always smiling in school. In the camp, she became quiet. The guards called her Yellow Girl because of her fair skin. They took her almost every night. She would return with bruises and swollen eyes, but she never spoke about it. One night, I whispered to her, "We'll get out of here." I promise. She didn't answer, but I saw her tears fall. After 3 weeks, a new girl was brought in. Her name was Miriam. She wasn't a student like us. She was older, maybe 22 or 23, but something about her was different. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She watched the guards carefully. She studied the way they moved. One night, I asked her why she was so calm. She looked at me and said, "Because I'm not staying here forever. I came here to save someone." I was confused. "You came here? On purpose?" She nodded. "My sister was taken 2 months ago. I've been tracking them. I found their route. I let myself get caught. I know their routine. I'm just waiting for the right night." We didn't believe her at first, but as days passed, Miriam began talking to us in whispers. She had hidden a blade in her bra. She had stolen keys when one of the guards got drunk. She knew which nights they drank the most. The plan was simple. She would unlock our chains when the guards fell asleep. We would run to the west where she had marked the path. She had a contact, a retired soldier named Uncle Toby, waiting with a bike and radio. But it had to be done quietly. If one guard woke up, we would all die. It was the 26th day in the camp. That night, the guards celebrated something. They drank, danced, and fired guns in the air. Miriam whispered, "Tonight is the night." My heart beat so fast I thought it would explode. At 1:17 a.m., she began unlocking chains, one by one, quietly. We tiptoed past the cages, past the guard's hut, past the kitchen fire. We were almost at the edge when a baby cried. One of the women had a baby she always hid. The cry woke up a guard. He shouted, "Who goes there?" We ran. Bullets flew past us. 2 of the boys fell. Miriam dragged a bleeding girl with her. I held Tina's hand as we ran through the bush, thorns cutting our legs. We reached the main path and saw a torchlight. It was Uncle Toby. He shouted, "Run to me!" We jumped on the back of his pickup truck. The engine roared and we drove. But behind us, we saw headlights. The kidnappers were chasing us. Uncle Toby grabbed his radio and shouted codes I didn't understand. Minutes later, we saw military trucks block the road. Soldiers with big guns surrounded the kidnappers and fired warning shots. It was over. We cried. We screamed. We held each other. We were safe. 7 of us made it out alive from that camp. 7 out of 14. Tina had lost her voice for weeks. She couldn't speak. She just stared at walls. Her parents tried to hug her, but she didn't respond. Miriam's sister didn't make it. Her body was found in a shallow grave. Miriam didn't cry in front of us, but we could see her pain. Mr. Dominic, he tried to escape but was caught. His trial is still ongoing. Every time I see his face on the news, I feel my blood boil. The camp was burned down. Soldiers rescued others who were still alive. Some couldn't even remember their names. I started speaking at school, sharing our story, telling students to be careful, telling teachers to be watched. Not all of them are what they pretend to be. Today it's been 2 years. Tina and I still talk. We go to therapy together. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but we're healing. I still can't go near buses. Sometimes at night, I still hear the baby cry. I still hear gunshots. I still see the cage. But I wake up. I remind myself, I came back. Not everyone did. So when you hear about a school trip, pray. Watch closely and never assume safety, because sometimes they call it a school trip, but you never come back.